and supports regarding emergency preparedness, including those related to fire, weather, toxins, and community violence. Outline appropriate program policies and procedures that address the 4 stages of emergency preparedness. Demonstrate the use of available tools and resources when developing an emergency preparedness plan. At the end of this training, you will have the opportunity to develop your own emergency preparedness plan specific to your program. Before we move forward, consider the following question. If you had a magic wand to change something about the emergency preparedness practices in your current program environment, what would you change? Type your answer in the space provided and click Submit. Make note of your response and refer back to it at the end of the training. You may find that information or resources provided in the training have granted you a solution to your wish. Many times as a provider, there are family dynamics or situations at home that cannot change, but by focusing on what we can change, you can still strive to provide a safe, caring environment for children and youth in your program. This section will cover background information related to the importance of emergency preparedness and why it is a requirement for child care providers. The administration of children and families through the Office of Child Care administers the Child Care Development Fund Plan. This training on emergency preparedness was developed as a result of this plan, which has many requirements, one of them being the statewide Child Care Disaster Plan. Requirements for the statewide Child Care Disaster Plan include outline procedures of how CCDF assistance and child care services will be provided after a disaster, including but not limited to temporary child care and operating standards. The plan also outlines requirements for child care providers, including procedures for evacuation, relocation, shelter in place, communication, reunification, continuity of operations, accommodations for infants, toddlers, children with disabilities and chronic medical conditions, procedures for staff, and volunteer disaster training and drills. In Illinois, the statewide Child Care Disaster Plan is specifically called the Illinois Child Care Emergency Preparedness and Response Plan. This plan links organizations, including IDHS, IDCFS, INCRA, and the CCR&Rs, and encourages them to work together in helping providers meet requirements for CCDBG. The purpose of this required plan, as well as today's training, is to assist child care providers in creating emergency preparedness plans for their own centers or homes. The Emergency Preparedness Planning Guide is a resource that was developed by Illinois Emergency Medical Services for Children to assist individual child care centers and homes in developing their disaster plans. The guide includes ideas, tools, and resources presented in this training. Click on the guide to view a full copy, which is available at www.luhs.org/EMSC. This guide is also available at your local CCR&R. You will have an opportunity to practice using the guide later in this training. In general, emergency preparedness is important because the probability of an emergency occurring while children are away from home is high. Emergency plans should have input from staff, families, and emergency personnel so that everyone feels included and can perform the same action steps in the event of an emergency. Plans should also be practiced regularly. Emergency drills should be conducted with staff prior to conducting with children. Not only does this include drills within the care setting, but also bus evacuation drills and having plans in place should an emergency happen while away from the care setting, which will enable the provider to make good decisions in the event of an emergency. Having a prepared staff will assist in keeping children safe. Parents and children should also be prepped when drills are scheduled. For instance, some children are frightened of sirens, especially if they have a sensory disorder. In addition to being practiced, plans should also be reviewed and updated, at least annually, with any changes. Keeping children calm in an emergency is essential. Arranging a visit to and from the fire or police departments not only reinforces safety issues, but may also help alleviate fears the children might have. Staff training and preparedness will also assist in keeping children calm and safe. We will now discuss the 4 phases of emergency planning: prevention/mitigation, preparedness, response, and recovery.